Well, it's coming out really nice. There are a few little glitches here that I'm cleaning off, and I'll have to go over the white a little bit better. However, the concept actually works a lot better in paint than it does in the other technologies that I've tried. I did have a bit of a learning curve here. You can see I have different types of masking tape, from the green, which was crap, to the blue, which I think I have over there. You can see it. And then ultimately I learned that the frog tape, and of course I've never been a big, huge cut-in painter or anything like that, so we'll live and learn. So this is my first faceplate, and I did get another faceplate right here. I don't want to tip it over because of all these little bits here, but same thing that I got on eBay for $5. Some guy was parting out parts of an old quad, I guess. Wish I would have been able to get more parts, but that's all he had available. Anyway, if this is a bit of a failure, I've always got that other quad faceplate as a backup, plus I have my good one downstairs. So I've actually got 3 faceplates. I've only got 2 cases, so this one I had to do extra coats on it because I actually started the faceplate first and I started this one later, so it's a little earlier on in the process than this one here. And I got to peel this one back here pretty quick and see what kind of runs I have to repair. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with pure white on the bottom here, and then I tried this, but I think I'm going to go red because obviously on the side it's going to be red. So if this mates up to there, then I think it'll look better in red. So it'll be red all the way around on the top side and only seeing red there. So just some of these design decisions that you have to make, and you can see that I did paint inside here. You don't really need to because obviously the volume dial goes on there. And then what I've done is I'll do it on another video. In fact, I will. I'll show you what I've done as far as what I'm going to do here. And that's the real reason why I ordered this faceplate on eBay. As you can see, these clips here held in the tone control board or display board, and on it had a bunch of fonts and settings and everything, which I'll show you in a second. And so what I did was I pulled that out, I scanned it, and we'll go upstairs and I'll show you. My scanner upstairs, and basically there's the faceplate that goes in behind the or the backing plate, I guess, inside the faceplate of the Quad 44. And of course you can see all the fonts and the settings for the step control, the tilt control, and the filter slope control, as well as the cancel LED that goes in here. Of course the 2 slope controls go in here, and then there's a round knob with a little slider assembly that goes in there. And so what I did was I scanned it, and what I'll do is I'll go down to my other computer workstation and I'll show you what I did there. What I did was I used Paint.net, which is freeware software, and what I did was I brought the image in and I made a layer, actually 2 layers. So if I turn off this layer, there we go. So there you can see what I've done is I've just taken the scanned layer and I went over all of the setting points in the font, and I matched the font as best I could. And you can see where I've X'd out where the controls stick out, as well as the LED. And then I basically copied what was on there, and this is all to scale. And what I'm going to do is paint print this all out on decal paper. So with decal paper, I get rid of the background, and basically all it prints out is what you see there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this faceplate and I'm going to color match it, because obviously I did the British flag. How am I going to get this out of here? It slid in there. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is obviously parts of the British flag, and I think they'll intersect here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what fonts need to be these printouts here need to be at different font levels or at different colors to best show on the backing. So ideally, if I went all white on this plate, then I would just go with the black font and it would look a lot better. You'd have some good contrast, I guess. So, but that's not the case. So we'll go upstairs and I'll show you on the unit itself. So here I've got the template, and then I can go back and I can change these to say red and that to blue, and that to leave that as black if it's on a white background, just for the best contrast. So let's go upstairs and I'll show you how this is gonna work. And there's the faceplate, and this will sit in behind like that, and obviously the olive drab browny kind of color of the original quad will not match with the color scheme that I've got. So obviously if I've got this in here, there'll be a stripe of red there, and then there will be a peak of blue here, and then the red stripe will probably come up here, and then sort of like this kind of a thing, only on the opposite side, like the British flag, it'll come out here kind of thing. So what I'll do is I'll paint this up to make sure it matches that, and then what I'll do is I'll go down to my template and I'll change the colors and maybe even the thickness for contrast and everything of the fonts that I've printed out here, or basically scanned in and copied into my computer. And then with this decal paper, which you can see here, I did this for the Thorns. If I cut that out and then you soak it in water, basically everything around it is translucent and see-through. And so what I do is put it in the water, and then all that comes out is the lettering. Same idea with the decal paper. When I print out the fonts for the front face here, remembering that it's got to contrast each of the colors that are on there, I'll print it out. I'll have to do probably a couple prints just to get it just right, and then we'll translate it onto the faceplate. And that should make it look pretty skookum in the British flag configuration. So that's the plan. Whether I can execute it is another story. So onward we press. All right, the quad case is coming along quite well. I've got it all taped up and it's all dry now. So we'll peel that back and see what it looks like. There's the faceplate that you can see. I still have a few little edges to clean up and everything, and then the white I have to clean up. But it's coming along quite well. There's the back. And you can see the front. So we'll take the tape off, see what it looks like, and mate the two together, and you can get an appreciation of what the quad will look like. Oh, and I also forgot, so I've got the base coat of the white on here. And of course I have the template that basically goes on for the tilt levers, so that's a decal. So that'll go over top, and I'll actually cut them out individually so I can minimize the amount of decal stuff that's on the faceplate. So we'll just go with their numbers, and then I just have the X's there to coincide with the center of the holes, and for the cancel switch. So, but before I do that, it's wet right now, what I'll have to do is put this on top. As you can see, put that on top, and then continue on with the blue pyramiding and everything, and the red stripe that'll come out. And I'll paint that first before I actually apply that. I might have to go to some different colors here, but we'll see how it looks. So let's get the tape off and see what it looks like. And there you have it, somewhat married together. So I had the idea to take this Quad 44 preamp, and because this is all British gear and it's some of the one of the first high-end systems that I ever bought when I was overseas in Europe, sold it many years later, and then I stumbled onto these units, and of course they're mismatched. So you've got the older 44, and then it's kindred newer version of the FM4, because the FM4 also had one that matched the old faceplate style, and also the old 405 too. But these are the two later versions that are in gray, which I think I've mentioned several dozen times by now. So I didn't like the fact that they were all mismatched, so I had this idea of why not trick out the 44 and make it look a little pop artish. So I had the idea, and I tested it out kind of on this, the Thorns turntable, which I've assembled and is about ready to go. Found a fellow who wants it. So what I did was I purchased a case and faceplate off of Dada Electronics over in Europe. They sent me, actually, I thought I was ordering the gray, and they sent me the wrong color. So I ended up saying, well, let's paint this baby up. So, and in fact, that's the faceplate that they sent, which was supposed to match that faceplate. It was gray. They said gray, and then I don't know if you can call it gray. I'd have to call that olive drab. But, and same with the case, it came in the old brown instead of the gray like they had advertised. No matter. What I did was I took the old case that this one came in, which was a little lighter shade of sort of olive drab than that, and it was actually in not as good a condition. So I ordered the faceplate, where I took the old case apart, and now you can see I've tricked it out. And still a ways to go on it. Some of my lines here aren't exactly perfect. I've actually got to clean up the white on it and make the lines smoother. As well as I've got to take this faceplate, which I've already painted white. I had another control panel like this one that I've painted white, and that insert will go in there. And then in order to get the lettering and everything, I basically scanned that, and then what I'm going to do is put it on as a decal once I've got the paint scheme done on this faceplate to match that. So I gotta say, I'm really, really, really stoked with this. So we're about 80% there. I still have a lot of detail work just to make it nice and clean. I also have the insert quad here, which is in brown, so of course I'm going to have to paint that to match the scheme. So I'm going to go white. That'll be really detailed work, or blue, I should say, and then white lettering probably. So very finely raised number or lettering here, so it's going to be really, really detailed paint work. So, gotta say, very happy. And once it's complete, I'll have it all put together. And I even have 2 sets of these British Celestion speakers. So I've actually almost been thinking, so there's the one set. It's in black because the cabinetry was quite poor. And then there's the second set that I have right there. So I'm going to take probably the poorer of the two, well, I mean poor cased or cabinet of the two, and then maybe make that into a British speaker. But I don't know, that might be going too far. One thing at a time. So we'll see how this ends up, and at the end of the day, if I'm satisfied, I might have a nice little man cave system down here someday. Thanks for watching.